Tonight, we report on how there is remodeling going on at the Grant County Fairgrounds and how the people reacted to the newest business in Ephrata. What's happening in sports, Bob?
There was a lot of exciting high school and college sports action going on over the weekend. Stay tuned to find out what happened. Let's take a look at our Weather Center forecast.
And from the weather department, we're looking at a pretty nice warm-up, back to seasonal temperatures. Unfortunately, unsettled weather continues, but looks like more rain than any of the frozen stuff.
We have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
A Mattawa man is accused of following a man home and pointing a gun at him. Prosecutors charge Michael Barajas, a 21-year-old man in Grant County Superior Court, with assault in the second degree. Witnesses reported Barajas and a group of people followed a man home because he looked at them wrong and wasn't being respectful. According to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, when they arrived at the home on the 600 block of Hildy Way South in Mattawa, the two men began arguing, and Barajas reportedly pulled a gun out and began pointing it at the victim. The victim described it as an automatic handgun. The police report doesn't state whether the incident was gang-related, but initial reports by police stated Barajas and the other men were wearing red. The Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation offered country sweethearts a chance to dance and enjoy some romance while supporting a good cause. Reporter Courtney Vasquez has the story.
Columbia Basin locals grabbed their hats, put on their boots, and rallied up donations for the Country Sweethearts benefit dinner. Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation has hosted this event for 5 years now. Executive Director Angel Needler said all proceeds from the event benefit cancer patients in Grant and Adams County. She said they value this event because it brings in enough money to help patients all year.
One of our goals is to get our word out that we're there to help our local people. We see young, old. We have a child on our patient list, and they're every walks of life, from every stages.
Locals donated a variety of items to auction off at the event. Maxine Hansen and Mel Neal have been donating to the foundation for years. They said they've made over 600 quilts for local patients.
Every new patient that comes into their office that goes on the bus gets a quilt free. And it's just a little something that you or say a man, you're upset because you got to go to chemo, but you don't know nothing about it. So you're sitting there nervous, and they give you a quilt. And it kind of breaks the deal. It just makes them feel better.
Two locals who have battled cancer shared their experience with the disease. They reminded people that cancer can have an impact on anyone.
And being in my 20s, the last thing I ever thought I'd have to deal with was cancer. But my main worries were money and chasing women and having a good time. But definitely the last thing that crossed my mind was having to deal with cancer.
Last year, the Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation raised over $55,000 with this event. The funds help patients with travel expenses, wigs, hats, groceries, and more. Needler hopes everyone knows that they aren't alone. The Columbia Basin Cancer Foundation is here to help. For iFIBER 1 News, I'm Courtney Vasquez.
Thank you, Courtney. The Republican women of Grant County are hosting Grant County Clerk Kim Allen to present information on how she serves Grant County. The meeting is at 7 p.m. tomorrow night and is open to the public. The group meets at the Emperador Azteca restaurant in Moses Lake, located at 117 West 3rd Avenue.
Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the Department of Corrections asks that you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1010 1160 after 5 p.m.
We'll be right back after this.